Yun talaga yung kinalakihan ko. And then when I came here to the Philippines, yun nga, Drew decided to own a pet cat. And I actually didn't know how allergic I was. I guess you have, kind of like with dogs, you have some dogs that have hair that you aren't so allergic to.
Right.
But I guess it's different when it's cat hair, the dander. And with the cat that he really had so much fur. And funny, because I was a victim of one of those myths where I thought that if I exposed myself more to it, thinking now, okay, well, it's Drew's cat, I'm going to have to learn to live with it, I'm going to have to learn to be okay with it. I thought that being with his cat more would eventually immunize me. But
what happened?
I learned the hard way. I got home, and then in the middle of the night, biglang, well, okay, maybe not in the middle of the night, but a few hours after, biglang yung hinga ko pa rin. Sabi ko,
Ordering an asthma.
Sabi ko, I think allergic talaga ako sa pusa niya. So doon na ako, that's when I really started, I needed to treat that.
Well, that's a difficult thing. I mean, allergies get in the way of our everyday lives. And he is a very active person. I mean, you love to be outdoors, exposed to various allergens. You love to be active. You run, you swim, you bike, you're a triathlete, and do all kinds of active things. And there's nothing like an allergy
getting in the way.
Getting in the way of doing things that you like to do.
Exactly. And actually what I really hate about allergies is, of course, you get sneezing, you get itchy eyes, and then sometimes you think that you have something in your eye, so you try to like poke at your eye, and then all the more red your eye gets. And then people around you might even think you're sick.
Right.
And then avoid you.
Ang lakas makapangat ng allergy.
Oh, hindi siya nakakaganda. So yeah, you want to avoid it as much as possible and treat it before it even gets to that stage.
Right. Well, that's the great part. You found a solution to those problems that you had, and it hasn't kept you from doing the things that you like to do.
Definitely not.
Even being pregnant now, I'm sure you've made some adjustments, but you still keep on doing the things that make you happy.
I still, yes, because yes, you're right. It makes me happy. So I will run.
Okay.
I will bike.
All right.
I will swim.
There you go.
I will exercise.
There you go.
I will dance. But yeah.
Well, what's the routine like nowadays? I mean, now that you have, now that you're pregnant.
Oh, I am?
Yep, surprise. Now that you're pregnant, but like I said, these are the things that it hasn't changed your lifestyle. You made some adjustments, but it hasn't really done a whole change your lifestyle all that much. The same way that, given the right sort of treatment, allergies don't have to change
exactly.
the way you want to enjoy life.
Exactly.
So what's the routine like nowadays?
In fact, it allows you to enjoy life even more because you won't have to be afraid of allergies having to ruin your day.
Right. So what's the daily routine like now?
And especially, when you are exercising or when you're outdoors and you have a race to prepare for, being able to breathe.
Last thing you want to have is a runny nose,
being able to breathe clearly is it's so important because you need to get in as much oxygen as you can. So you're right. I'm still able to enjoy these things because I have nothing getting in the way.
All right. What is just a little bit of a personal story now. What's your daily routine like, and how does doing what you love to do how does what
how does it keep me happy?
I'm trying to say is you do what you do and you do what you do because it makes you happy. So what are those things that make you happy, and how does knowing that there are things you can do to stop things like allergies from getting in the way, and how does it allow you to do those things? What are those things that you love to do?
Well, the things that I love to do, my regular day is, I'm lucky because I don't really have to stay up late so much now. I just wake up in the morning, get my workout out of the way, have breakfast with Drew, and then whatever errands I have throughout the day, I schedule after having my morning time with Drew. Because after breakfast, Drew goes off to do his thing, and then I go off to do my thing. And I've been lucky so far with this pregnancy. I haven't had major allergy attacks. So, it's hard because, when you're pregnant, you have something pushing down on your bladder. And the last thing you want to do is sneeze
I was gonna say,
unnecessarily.
actually, whether you need to go to the bathroom or not, when you're pregnant, the last thing you want to do is have a lot of sneezing fits.
Exactly,
It's not exactly good.
Because I'm sure you know what I'm trying to say here. But yeah, so the last thing you want is to have is to like
Have one of those achoo moments.
a spontaneous achoo, and then you weren't able to squeeze in, and then you'd be like, oh, I think I gotta go home. So yeah, it's the last thing you want. So I've been lucky that throughout this pregnancy, I haven't had any major allergy attacks.
Okay, well, what are the things that you've learned, over the years, dealing with your allergies? And of course, just recently, it was, like I said, it was a real eye-opener for me listening to Dr. Lyra's talk. What are the things you've learned in terms of dealing with your allergies, and like you keep saying, being just able to do the things that you love to do?
Actually, what I've learned is that just be ready, because sometimes you don't even realize that you're allergic to something, and yeah, you don't want it to just catch you at a time where you want to be able to just enjoy your day, enjoy the evening, but then all of a sudden you have an allergy attack that you did not know would come, and it ruins your day. So
I feel that.
I think
you always carry some Claritin with you?
I always carry Claritin.
What's your favorite variant?
The Ready Tab.
Yeah?
The Ready Tab, and it's funny because Drew was asking me for, he was like, honey, do you have Claritin with you? I was like, yeah. So I gave it to him, and he wasn't aware that it was the peel and pop. It was the Ready Tab. And he was like, but I didn't have water. I was giving it to him. I was like, linalagay ko na sa bibig niya kasi he was driving. So sinusubo ko na. Sabi niya, I didn't have water.
Because you're worried about that. Usually the minute medicine touches your tongue, it's so bitter, right?
So I was like, no, don't worry. It tastes like mint, but it's not mint. It'll just dissolve in your mouth.
Okay.
And so natawa lang ako sa reaction niya kasi he wasn't ready for that. But it really does come in handy.
So many new developments that make dealing with allergies really so much more convenient.
And that was for Drew. You might be with a group of friends. You might have a friend who might later discover na hindi pala siya pwede kumain ng ganito, or allergic pala siya sa ganito. So you might even be able to save the evening for your friend.
Okay, and that's another important thing. Sometimes you have allergies that you don't even know
exactly.
you have.
Because you're not always exposed to certain things.
Right, you're not always aware. And you can develop these things later on in life. Sometimes you have them early on, sometimes you develop it later on.
Yeah.
It's really hard to tell. It's a good thing we have an expert with us to tell us a little bit more. So we have our brand manager, Monch Cruz, and of course Dr. Lyra. I'd like to invite you to join us, Iya, here on the couch for a little bit more of a Q&A. I'm sure our friends from media have some questions that they want to throw your way. So go ahead and fire away. I'll come down to you and hand you a mic. And we can have a little bit of a chat with our expert, our brand manager, and of course our celebrity endorser. So who wants to go first? Questions. So that my first question, Doc, okay, if you allow me, I touched on this. Can you develop allergies later on in as you get older? Is it something that do allergies always appear when you're young, or can you develop them as you get older?
Yeah, of course you can develop them as you grow older. Of course it starts with exposure. So if you weren't exposed to it when you were as a child, you won't develop it. Maybe you get exposed later on. So that's when you develop it. So yes, you can develop it later on as an adult.
There you go. All right, we've got a question right over here. I'm going to come down and pass the mic to you.
Hi, good afternoon. Can pregnant and lactating women take Claritin?
Yeah. Actually, uunahan na sana kita eh. Kasi alam ko, I'm sure they're gonna ask. Based on my research, it is actually safe, but I'm not your doctor, so it would be best to ask your doctor. For pregnant, yeah. For lactating, yeah, best to ask your doctor.
Actually, it's excreted in breast milk, so we actually advise not to, for breastfeeding women, not to take Claritin.
As what they say, if symptoms persist, consult
your doctor. There's always that, right?
Although I did read in one of the articles that the drug that's excreted through breast milk is very minimal and it doesn't prove to show any adverse effects on the child. But you wouldn't want to turn your child into an experiment, right? So yeah, wait for a word from your doctor.
I think Also, for pregnant women, we have a study that proves that on a certain set of people, they tried giving Loratadine to pregnant women, and the effect was very minimal. So, but at the end of the day, you need to consult your doctor for the best advice.
All right, good stuff. Yes, sir.
Trying to be proactive. Is there a test or procedures that you can take to find out ahead of time what are you allergic on? What are you allergic to?
Okay. If you go to an allergist, they have many different kinds of allergy tests. They have the skin prick test. They have a lot. Yes, you can have those tests here.
Actually, in the States, they have the Claritin Allergy test. We don't have it here yet. But in the States, there's actually a kit, you buy it over the counter, and then it tests where your allergies are. The process is usually through blood extraction, and then you do it on your own, and then you submit the sample to a center, and then the center will email you the results of where you're allergic.
Nice.
That's how advanced the countries with 4 seasons have. Because usually the weathers are the triggers for the allergies. But here, if you're not really sure about your allergy, you have allergy attacks, and always take Claritin or Claritin attacks.
Actually, this lunch is one big test. You know, we fill the room with flowers, we serve you salmon, we serve you chicken with the skin on. We're waiting for somebody to get itchy, but you know, so far you've all passed.
Yeah, actually, even our activity later will be create your own succulents and cactus and flower kits.
Right.
So it's really a test of how, if you're really allergic to it. But don't worry, we have all Claritin all over the
Well,
place.
different folks, different allergens, different reactions, right, Doc? Okay, we've got another question over here.
How about insect bite allergies?
Actually, when you get an insect bite, it gets nakakabantal after. Yun. It's not really an allergy, it's because of the bite. But some people, I'm not sure in the Philippines if they have bee allergy. In the States, or ants. Yeah, some people are allergic to ant bites, so they develop like an allergic reaction after a bite. Just one bite. Ants, bees.
Cobras. Parang
Yes.
pag kinagat ka nun ng cobra, it's very allergic in reaction.
Can it be treated with Claritin? Actually, Claritin just treats urticaria when you have those pantal. But sometimes allergy symptoms can be more severe, even life-threatening. So in those cases, you have to go right away to the ER.
What about cases, Doc, where some people have, you know, like you said, peanut allergies is a little less common here, but there's some people who get a lot of swelling in the throat,
That's
and
right.
it affects their breathing. Is that something that can be addressed?
Yes. Actually, Claritin can't address that. That's what happened to my sister. She ate the crabs.
So that's a different kind of allergy.
Yeah.
All right, we've got another question over here.
Curious lang, meron ba tayong maximum number of intakes ng tablet for a day?
Actually, the dose that's indicated in the product insert is just 1 tablet once a day. So we don't really recommend that you take more. But of course, for some people, it would depend, especially with some diseases. So it's better to ask your doctor first before taking more than 1 tablet.
All right, another question. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Sarah from Manila Bulletin. I wanted to ask Doctor, what's the difference between Loratadine and cetirizine, and why is it more effective than cetirizine?
They're actually both, they're called second-generation antihistamines. The first-generation antihistamines are what, you know, you're familiar with Benadryl, with diphenhydramine. They can cause sedation or sleeping. And the dosing is maybe not once a day. Usually it's every 6 hours or every 8 hours. So that's the difference between the first and the second generation antihistamine. They make you sleepy. The first generation antihistamines make you sleepy, and the dosing is more frequent. So the second generation antihistamines are actually non-sedating, but there are some like cetirizine, which still can cause sedation in some people. And the second generation antihistamines are usually dosed like once a day lang. Just that
Usually the Loratadine is really non-drowse, 24-hour acting allergy relief. And in the cases of sedation, there are less sedations in the Loratadine versus sedation. Although, if you compare it, yeah, Loratadine would be less sedating.
Yes, ma'am. Got a question over here.
I was just wondering, can Claritin chewables be mixed with formula milk or food for the children?
Actually, the recommendation for the ready tabs is for children 12 years and above. It's actually not chewable because as soon as you put it in your mouth, it starts to melt. So I don't think it would be a good idea to mix it with liquids. Because it doesn't taste bitter. It actually has a minty taste. It's sweet. Sweet siya.
It's actually, you're correct. It's not chewable. It's orally disintegrating. I think when it's chewable, you have to chew it back. With this one, just put it in your mouth. It actually dissolves. We counted it mga 3 seconds. It's actually gone already. And you won't even notice that you actually took a medicine. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. But again, it's too much. There's no need for it because even at the tip of your tongue, it already melts.
Alright. Pwede ba siyang gawing dessert, Mom?
It has a minty flavor. So after lunch, you can have it.
It's perfect, alright. Go ahead and eat something for lunch that you're allergic to and pop Claritin. Anyone else have a question maybe on this side of the room that they'd like to ask? It's a great opportunity. We have our brand manager and an allergy expert with us, and of course our celebrity endorser, Miss Iya. Anybody have a question down this side? What is one variant more, I don't know, is the dosage similar for the traditional tablet and the dissolving?
The tablets and the ready tabs are both 10 milligrams of Loratadine. So in terms of the efficacy and the onset of action, it's all the same. It's really just on the format that varies between the two. However, for the kids, it's usually a lower dose. It's half the dose of the tablets and ready tabs. It's 5 milligrams.
Okay, so you have a kids version as well as an adult version.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, maybe one or two last questions. One last question on this side of the room. Does anybody have one? Are we all out of questions? Is there any other detail you'd like to add, Monch or Dr. Lyra? Final advice on dealing with dealing with allergies.
I think there's a lot of anti-allergy brands in the market out there. It can go as low as 2 pesos per tablet. But what really sets Claritin apart from all of these brands is its heritage, and it's world's #1. Heritage having been in the market for more than 25 years, I think it's what really have been trusted when it comes to allergies. If you ask your mom, if you ask your friends, if you ask your peers, they always talk about Claritin when it comes to allergies because it's what we've been used to. And second, it's the world's #1 anti-allergy medicine. All throughout the world, we are really committed to not just address the anti-allergy sufferers, but also give them the full experience of a life without allergies. And in fact, as what I've mentioned, there's a lot of products from all over the world that are Claritin and anti-allergies that can really address different types, different needs of anti-allergies in the different. That's all. Thank you.
Good stuff. Maybe a quick closing from Dr. Lyra. Advice for people who have to deal with allergies on a daily basis. What's your best advice?
Okay, well, just always trust the expert. So you know the expert. Know who it is. It's...
All right, Iya, thank you for answering our questions. I'm sure there'll be a few more somewhere out there as soon as we let you go. I'm sure everybody will have a question or two for you. What's your final thought on sharing this great discovery of yours that Claritin, something as simple as carrying Claritin with you can help you make your day a whole lot better. Avoiding those situations.
Well, first, thanks for being here. Thanks for having me. Thanks for being here. Thanks for your time. My tip really, it's great if you know what you're allergic to, but as Doc said, as you grow up, sometimes you have yet to discover what you're allergic to. So I think it's better to just always be prepared. If not for yourself, even just for your friends. So I think that's why I really want to push for my favorite variant, the Ready Tabs. Because it's just so convenient, especially when you're traveling. Diba? So my tip would be to just be prepared. Because you just don't know when it'll hit you.
There you go. Okay, once again, we want to thank our celebrity endorser, Miss Iya Villania Arellano, Dr. Lyra Yamat, and of course our brand manager, Mr. Monch Cruz, for sharing their insights and stories on our brand. Now, thank you very much, guys. At this point, I would like to invite our category manager for our